Hi, my name is Katie Hohman. I have been a physical therapist for 13 years. I also own 2 clinics outside of Orlando, as well as I am the co-founder of a software company called HENO. It's an EMR and systems practice management solution for physical therapy. So I wanted to share with you my story today because I think it probably will resonate with quite a few of you that have been in my shoes at certain points during your career. So 2 years out of PT school, I found myself working in a hospital outpatient clinic. After a year there, I still felt out of my element. I love patients and I was a hardworking and dedicated therapist, but I felt like I didn't fit in with the rest of the team, especially the management part of my team. I was young, I was eager, but I didn't feel that connection with anyone I worked with, and that began to be kind of a problem for me. So my assumption was confirmed when my manager brought me in for my annual review after my first year with them and gave me a 33-cent raise. So keep in mind, her role in raises was she got this pot of money and then she was the one who decided how it was to be distributed amongst the staff. And so clearly I wasn't at the top of her list to get, a very big piece of that pie. So I remember vividly going home upset, talking to my husband and trying to figure out how I could get them to see my value and my worth for the company. I stayed late to accommodate patients. I gave every visit everything I had, and I got results. And the patients loved me. They requested me. But because I didn't attend their Mary Kay parties and I didn't connect as well with 40 to 50-year-old therapists that, no joke, sat on rolling stools and dictated to their patients what exercise machine to go on next. And that was not me, and I couldn't connect with them. So what did I do? So I started baking cookies. I would bring cookies into the office at least once a week for these ladies that I worked with, and to my surprise and my hope, because I had a reason for doing it in the first place, that's all it took to get a stellar review the next time review period came around. I just felt like it was really sad that that's what it took. It didn't take my skills, it didn't take my compassion and how I worked with patients. It took cookies. So now working in a hospital-based system, my reviews weren't the only thing that made me crazy. It also took an act of Congress to get anything done for my patients. So being able to try to get a $30 Dynadisc for a patient that I'm working on higher level balance function with, it just never happened. I was never able to make it happen. And that was kind of the last straw for me. I knew I had to get out of there. I knew I could do it better, even if I really had no idea how. So I wanted to open my own practice where I could put the focus back on the patient and not the bureaucracy of what I had been dealing with working for the hospital system. I wanted a place where I could cultivate the culture of my team, and I wanted a place that I could do it my way. And so in 2009, I opened my practice. So opening a practice, and I'm sure a lot of you can relate, was a whole lot more than just treating patients. And I guess I didn't know what the hell I was getting myself into. I was a hot mess. I felt like I was running in circles trying to create some type of flow in the practice. And then I was constantly plugging the holes in the flow I had created with different pieces of software, trying to make it automated. So I, added things like automated appointment reminders to help with patient compliance, faxing software for streamlining the communications that I had with the physicians, an EMR system to try to speed up documentation, and so many more. I was using 8 different systems to try and run and operate my practice, and it didn't work. It ultimately cost me more time, more money, and then clearly more frustration. I was spending more time away from home. I was missing out on time with my children and my husband. And the nights that I did make it home for dinner, I felt like I was just constantly rushed through the whole process because I had so much on my brain that I knew I needed to get done for the business. And so I typically was taking home about 2 hours of patient notes home every night. And that's not all I was doing. It wasn't just, catching up on the documentation. It was also all the other things that go along with running a practice. But it started sucking the joy out of treating patients altogether. And it really made me second guess my reason for doing this in the first place. And so I knew it was kind of the point of no return. There had to be another way. My kids were growing up before my eyes, and I was missing out on a lot of it. I had to make a change in my practice, or I was going to be stuck in this place and ultimately have more guilt and more regret the older they got. So I started putting together a list of everything I needed to fix kind of this endless cycle that I was going through, which, by the way, I had created what's now called the Big 10 for scaling your practice to help other practice owners, kind of get what they need laid out to be able to then move towards scaling and growing. But I couldn't find anything that was currently on the market that met my needs to fully automate and run my clinic. So fortunately for me, my husband, who's an Air Force vet, but also an amazing software developer, we built our own EMR and system software. Are you having trouble, difficulties balancing being a parent, being a spouse, being a practice owner like I did? Because I feel like, as a mom especially, we wear so many different hats. So to throw owning a practice in the mix makes things freaking crazy. So if you're struggling with perfecting or even creating systems in the first place in your practice that can ultimately help give you more freedom, reach out to me. That's what you've got to do. Because this was definitely me too. I wanted more time freedom and I was having a really hard time getting there. So HENO has been transformational for my own practice. But it's, sometimes it is a struggle for other practice owners to understand that the initial investment that you make in something like software ultimately is so worth it in the end. Change is hard sometimes, but being able to have a system in place that can fully automate your practice and give you that time back, the time back with your kids, the time back, eating dinners together, helping them with their homework. Those kinds of things are what I wanted back in my life, and I wanted to be fully present, not just a body being there. I wanted to have my mind not going crazy and thinking about all the stuff I needed to do when I was in the moment with my kids. So by streamlining and automating the processes in my practice, by using software, by using HENO, I was able to get time back in my life. I have 2 clinic locations right now with over 25 employees. We see over 50 new evaluations each week between the clinics, and we're able to make a larger impact on our community, which is what is most important to me. I've been able to pay for my entire team and their significant others to go on a cruise, which we did a few weeks ago, which was just incredible. It was an amazing experience for everybody. And we continue to build and foster an amazing culture with our team. I haven't directly treated patients in over 9 months, and most importantly, I'm home every night for dinner. I can go to my kids' field trips, I can volunteer, I can be involved in their lives as much as I need and want to, and I've had the freedom that I never had before. So let me help you bring the joy back into your practice. Reach out to me. I would love to be able to help you on a track to independence and freedom.